Hi guys, Jackie from Famished Farm. We're making a rain barrel stand today. Could be a little table too. This is the little plan I'm working with. To make this, you're going to need about $30 worth of materials if you're making it new. You'll see I'm just using scrap wood. You'll need two 2x4x8s, one 4x4x8, and a box of screws. So for under $30, you could have a brand new table, but I'm using scrap. Here's your cut list. I'm going to leave that on the screen a few seconds if you need to take a picture of it. It's really just a simple table or stand. You call it what you will. So back in October, Rod cut out the first table for me, but he didn't realize I needed two of them. So a couple weeks ago, I pulled out the other scrap wood that we had and went ahead and cut the rest of the pieces for a second table. Keep in mind that the 4x4, if you're buying it new, the 8-foot 4x4 is enough wood to make two tables. And because I knew it was going to be cold, we're just going to bring this down into the basement where today's the day. We're going to go ahead and make this. First off, you're going to lay out your two 21-inch 2x4s, and you're just going to create a box with the other 15-inch 2x4s. And I'm just kind of playing, actually here I'm killing a bug that was on the wood, but I'm going to kind of play around with the layout and make sure that the inside pieces that are laying flat are equally spaced out. And I do have to kind of move things around to get everything to fit. My pieces are not perfectly 15 inches long and perfectly 21 inches long, but they're just fine. Here you can see I've spaced them out. And now you're just going to create a box. The outer screws are going to go two in each piece of wood at each corner, one lower, one higher. I'm using, for my size screws, I'm going to use a 9/64 drill bit, and then I'm putting these in with deck screws. These are 2.5-inch deck screws. You could use 3-inch easily if you've got a long enough bit to get through the wood. So this is a Torx head screw, construction deck screw, and it comes with, in the box, a brand new bit for your screwdriver. And unfortunately, I don't have a quick connect bit for it. So every once in a while, the Torx head screwdriver tip goes flying, and I have to come back like there. It sticks to the screw before. And guys, this is used, well-loved wood, and every once in a while I'm going to have to back a screw out because I run into one of the splits that's already in the wood. And in this case, the bottom of that particular piece is kind of bowed inward, so I'm going to adjust that a little bit before I finish screwing it. My particular use, this is going to sit outside for the next dozen years or so, and I just don't want to have to think about it. You could easily use pine if you're going to use this inside, and you could paint it or stain it. I'm not going to do either one. Once you're done on the first side, you're going to just flip it around and finish screwing and drilling the other two ends. I came up with this design about 5 years ago. We've made 4 other tables or stands, if you will, for our existing rain barrels, and we're enlarging our rain barrel capacity by 2 barrels, so that's why we're making these stands. Now you can see I'm going to do 10 screws on this side and then 10 screws on the opposite side to hold the flat 2x4s that will become the tabletop in place. And then we're just going to use our same 2.5-inch deck screws to hold that in place. Once we're done with the first side, then we'll just simply spin it around again and we'll work on the opposite side. As I pan this around, don't you just love the character of old wood? These are just probably 2x4s we've been carrying around, or we've used them for other projects around the house. And now they're becoming something with much more use to us. We're going to put in our, we've drilled 10 holes on this side, and now there's our screws. And so basically your tabletop is done. I just am admiring my kind of straight line of screws. I like how it looks on the top. So we'll flip it back down just the way we had it and put in our 4x4s. These 4x4s, you can see they're kind of split in places too. So I am trying to move the splits to the interior. So I'll have a little better luck screwing them to the tabletop without having too many areas where I might have to back out the screws. There you can see that's what happens when you hit a split. And I'm trying to keep the same pattern as I work around each of the 8 places I'm screwing. So I just work on a diagonal in my case. The screw to the right is a little higher than the screw to the left. And I do that same pattern the whole way around. So 2 screws on each side of the leg. So there'll be 4 screws total. And so that's 16 screws to attach the legs. If you're keeping track, that's 44 2.5-inch screws total. And here's a little better look. You can see how I go high on the first screw, and then I drop down and a little bit to the left on the second screw. Using pressure treated lumber, these are not going to be lightweight tables. They're very sturdy. The 55-gallon rain barrels, that's like 500 pounds of water. So you want something that is not going to break down. And here I am all finished. We'll give you the total dimensions, which is 13.5 inches tall, 21 inches long, and 18 inches wide. I think it turned out beautiful. I'm super happy with it. And as you know, I was making 2 of these to go with my 2 rain barrels. So we'll show you both of those coming up. We'll be making lots of projects like these over the coming years, so please be sure to subscribe and leave us a comment if you've got any thoughts on this plan or ideas for us in the future. Thanks for being here, guys.